Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. We're still trying to hook up with Mr. Crappie himself, Wally Marshall, because his Mr. Crappie Expo and tournament is coming up on Logan Martin Lake at Lincoln's Landing and right out of Birmingham, Lincoln, Alabama. That's coming up on September the 22nd through the 24th. The big expo that is in its fifth year. I just can't. It doesn't seem possible. It's 5 years. And I know you have covered this event, Ron. So you know it's gotten bigger and bigger every year. $300,000 payout. I mean, first place.
And talking with Wally for this year, he already has over 100 vendors set up for the expo.
Does he really?
Now, can you imagine? All of these vendors are fishing related, and mostly geared towards the crappie fishermen. And I got to tell you, it's really exciting. And of course, on Saturday of the tournament, which is the last day of the tournament, he will have his world famous all-you-can-eat fish fry, crappie fish fry.
Oh yeah!
And what they do is he has a lot of his friends and himself. They catch all these crappie, they freeze them up, and they bring them, and they have the world's largest crappie fry, and that's what it is. And I got to tell you, it is some good stuff.
Good stuff.
Puppies, slaw, French fries, and
the whole deal. I mean,
it's really a good deal.
And all the crappie anglers. I mean, you got $100,000 first place prize for this. And Ron, you followed crappie fishing for a long time, and you've seen the evolution of the sport itself. I know we know our local guys here who have made national names for themselves, but I know last year I was looking at the results from last year's tournament up on Table Rock, and Dan and Hayden Jeffries won that event with 21 crappie weighing 34.88 pounds.
And of course, Hayden and Dan. Dan is Hayden's father.
Yes, I remember that. We've had him on, hadn't we, Ron?
We've had him on.
Yeah,
and they are fastly approaching $1 million in winnings.
Are they really?
Yeah, already. And of course, Hayden is not but 20. I want to say 24 years old.
So mid-20s, so early to mid-20s, and won that $100,000 last year. He
just won another tournament here they had down at Ross Barnett.
Oh, really?
That I read about. He's won 5 or 6 tournaments this year already, with up to a $10,000 payout. They're quite a team, and the way they do it, I have been able to watch them in an observer's boat. Being very close to him, and watch how he does it. Only one of them's fishing.
Only one of them's fishing, really?
Yes. And so that's Hayden. He's on the front, and his dad or his partner, depending, most of the times it's his dad.
Yeah, Dan.
They have a system, and his dad knows exactly when to put that net down into the water and watch. He's watching everything. And what he does is once he scoops the fish up, Hayden drops that rod, picks up another one. His dad takes care of the fish, measures, weighs the fish, and takes care of all of the fish, make sure they stay alive. If they're using minnows, his dad has a minnow in his hand ready for him to put it on. It is truly teamwork. And, we've had a couple of guys on that's won some big crappie tournaments, Josh Reynolds and Josh Jones. They do exactly the same thing.
Yes,
it takes a real team to win those things.
Well, I know. So, I want to ask you, we're still trying to get Wally, but $100,000 prize for a crappie tournament, Ron. Did you ever envision that? That's
it was going towards that, and Wally just stepped up and made it happen.
Made it happen, didn't he?
And he did make it happen. And this year I think his title sponsor is Lou's from Rather's Outdoors. And
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And so it's going to be quite a spectacle. I think I'm going to probably go down for a couple of days for that to shoot some pictures. We'll let you know out there if I get a chance to go and get some pictures.
Well, I've been to Lake Logan Martin. That's a bass lake.
Yeah.
We don't think of crappie. I think of Logan Martin. I think of Lay Lake. All those lakes in there that you've talked about are great bass destinations. But now they become crappie destinations.
Logan Martin is a great crappie lake, and we've got a mutual friend that loves to fish it and does very well with crappie. That's Brian Brasher.
Oh, yes.
Who lives in Birmingham. Well,
right, yeah.
Brian has told me he wants me to come down there because this time of the year, those crappie are going to be setting up under boat docks.
Yeah.
And boat slips and all of that. So you shoot boat docks and slips, or you fish brush piles, but the water has to be just right, the flow of it and everything, to jig them out of brush piles. But they always live this time of the year when it's really hot. They fish they shoot docks.
Okay.
And that's a lot of fun to watch. And of course, I learned how to do that, to shoot docks. From one of the very best, and that's Wally Marshall.
That's true. Yeah. And
he taught me on Kentucky Lake.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
He says, and this has been years ago. He says, "Look, I got the way to catch them, but I'm not sure where to go." I said, "I think I might be able to figure out where to go." And so we made our first stop, and it was a little bit too shallow. I said, "Okay, I know where there's some deeper docks at."
Yeah.
We found another deep dock about a half mile away that I really liked. And I got to tell you, first 5 pitches that Wally made under this dock, pound and a quarter crappie coming out. And so he said, "This is how you do it, this, that."
Yeah.
And so I started catching them, and what a thrill it is to catch crappie that way. And they're going to do a lot of that down there at Logan Martin. Of course, like you said, Larry, Logan Martin is known for a bass lake, I can tell you.
Yes.
First time I ever fished it was way back in the Red Man.
Oh, really? Okay.
Days.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm dating myself there.
That's okay. All right. We know that, Ron. You've been around for a long time. Okay.
Yes, I have.
You and I both have, and I've been to a classic at Logan Martin.
That's right. Was it the one that Kevin Van Dam won?
Yes. Yeah.
And he won it in a place called Beeswax Creek.
I don't know what he wanted, but I know when he won it.
Right
and
there next to the boat
what we're
rock.
going to do, folks, we're having trouble getting Wally. We're going to try to get him on next week's show.
Yeah.
And maybe we could get Ron in that segment too next week, even though it's not Ron's time. But because we want to
play triple bonus.
Triple bonus. But the thing I wanted to ask you about Table Rock 34.88. Do you think is that possible at Logan Martin to get that many? That's a pretty good weight, Ron. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think so? Okay. You think so?
Yeah.
A 35-pound is possible then at Logan Martin. So I mean,
I think so. Well, you got to remember, that's a 7-fish limit.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot. 21 fish. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And they should be able to get an average. They're going to have to get at least a pound and a quarter, pound and a third. To be in contention, if you will.
Well, I think that tournament, and then, like I say, we'll maybe hope we can hook up with Wally for next week. We had it all set up. This is part of radio life, and he's a busy man. But this tournament, again, will be, you folks in Memphis, you want to go down there. It's September the 22nd through the 24th on Logan Martin Lake at Lincoln's Landing. in Lincoln, Alabama. And, of course, the expo itself, this is the 55th annual Crappie Expo with what Ron said, over 100 vendors. The total purse for this is $300,000, which is what it was last year. And so put it on your calendar. And like I say, we'll hook back up, hopefully with Wally next week. But I'm so appreciative of Ron being able to fill in this time, as I don't think anybody has as much knowledge as Ron does, because Ron spends time studying this. Ron, you check Ron out.
And you know what, Larry, I'm very blessed that I get to study it on the water.
You do. That's true. Yeah,
and that's what it's all about.
And so right now, Ron, and before we let you go, no, we're not going to let you go. We'll keep you for your cousin next week. But Ron is at the Pan American World Bass Championships there in Hot Springs, and we're going to have a lot of stuff in Hot Springs on Lake Hamilton. Yes, you can go to LarryRay.com probably Sunday, Monday, or something like that, and we'll have all of Ron's pictures posted. I know he's going to have a whole lot. He wears out 2 or 3 pairs of tennis shoes. He goes miles a minute and everything else like that, and we'll have it on Facebook and all the information. But let's take a break right now and come back. And Ron, are we going to Honolulu on this? Or are we going to get Matty Wong in Honolulu? Or is that?
Well, we possibly could get him there because that's where he lives.
That's where he lives.
This is here in the U.S.
All right, let's come back on Outdoors with Larry Ray with Matty Wong, I hope. We'll be right back.